Welcome to my channel, All for Health with Jane. Brigadier Gininda is on the witness stand. Family, today we had Advocate Mnisi being the one who is cross-examining Brigadier Gininda. Mnisi dedicated his day on Ntanzi. You know, he's leading the whole day. His leading was more on Bongani Ntanzi than on his client, who is accused number 3. As he was doing the cross-examination, taking Brigadier Gininda from one question to another, then they had to talk about Advocate Mjiyako. Family, you still remember Advocate Mjiyako, whom Bongani Ntanzi said he doesn't know him. And when Mjiyako came into this picture, the court was told that Bongani Ntanzi, when he went for confession at Magistrate Kronye, he came being accompanied by his lawyer, Advocate Mjiyako. That's when Bongani Ntanzi said he didn't know Mjiyako. He did not even know who sent Mjiyako. Then today in this court, Advocate Mnisi is asking Brigadier Gininda about the 23rd of June 2020, when Advocate Mjiyako came to Pretoria, where Ntanzi was kept, and he asked to see Ntanzi. Brigadier Gininda was called, and he allowed Advocate Mjiyako to meet with Ntanzi. Now, as Advocate Mnisi is cross-examining Brigadier Gininda, then he comes to a question where he's asking Gininda, who told Mjiyako that Ntanzi is incarcerated? Who is the person who called him and told Mjiyako that Bongani Ntanzi is arrested? Brigadier Gininda, as expected anyway, he said he does not know who did that, and he did not even ask. If you remember, family, because after Brigadier Gininda said he did not even ask, and he didn't know who called Mjiyako to come and visit Bongani Ntanzi, it came to my mind that there were times where the younger sister of Bongani Ntanzi, remember the one who was interviewed by Bongani on YouTube, this young lady said her elder sister, meaning Bongani Ntanzi's elder sister, is the one who organized Mjiyako. He even called the sister with a name. And he said, Mama, the name. I don't remember the name, but what I remember, that a young lady mentioned that Mjiyako was organized by the elder sister. If I remember well, please correct me if I am wrong. So, and now today, Brigadier Advocate Mnisi wants to know who did that. But unfortunately, Brigadier Gininda said, I do not know who did that. Family, when it was about 20 minutes left to 1 o'clock, Advocate Mnisi asks for a long adjournment. He says because it's very hot in the kitchen, they are bringing a bomb. What they are going to say, it will need a longer time, and now they are left with only 20 minutes. He's asking for a long adjournment, but Judge Rata said, no, push it to 1 o'clock. We are not going anywhere. Family, we thank whoever has written that letter, because at least now they are able to respect time. You know, in the past, Judge Rata would just say, it's fine, let's go. Let's adjourn, we'll meet. But today he said, no. That person who was complaining, he is going to complain again. Let's do it until 1 o'clock. So we thank that person for that, for writing this email to them. Family, let's watch and listen as Advocate Mnisi is cross-examining Brigadier Kininda.
Now you're saying on the 23rd of June 2020, accused number 2 actually you put it like this, that there was an arrangement for a confession that was facilitated, or an arrangement for a confession that was made with an attorney. That accused number 2 on the 24th should go and appear before a magistrate for a confession. Is that true or correct?
No, I think maybe there might have been a misunderstanding. I'm saying, my lord, on the 23rd, so I was referring to the confession of Mrs. Cronje to say it came as a result of the discussions that took place on the 23rd between accused and his attorney with the state. And then out of those discussions, it gave rise to the confession of the 25th and the discussions that followed. That's what I was saying.
Engikushilo ukuthi ke kwistatement lesi esenzwa nge-24 zika June 2020 phambi kwayo imantshi uCronje ukuthi lokho kwaqala nge-23 zika June 2020 phakathi komsolwa ummeli wakhe kanye nombuso ukusuka lapho ke kwase kwenziwa le statement ke ngelanga elandelayo nokuqhubeka ke emuva kwalokho.
Thank you. Now, I just want to paraphrase what you've just said now so that I'm able to follow you. You are saying on the 23rd, there was a discussion between accused number 2's attorney and himself with the prosecutors for a confession that was supposed to, or about a confession that had to be taken on the 24th of June 2020, not so?
The discussions, my lord, because I don't want to say it incorrectly so that we don't find ourselves bumping it with Mr. Mnisi.
Yes.
The discussions was insofar, and I'm careful to go there, my lord, because I was told by the prosecution that because those discussions in terms of section of 105A were not finalized, one should not venture into that. So that's why I'm trying to put my weight as amicably and lawfully without being prejudicial to the accused, is that there were discussions that were leading to the 105. And that's how the confession of the 24th of June came into it. So it wasn't simply about the confession. There were discussions. Out of those discussions, certain things then were then put into motion, my lord.
Lokhu ke uma ngikuphendula ke ukuthi ngifuna ukuthi ngikusho kahle ke ngendlela ke ngoba ke umbuso ongibhayisileke ukuthi ke kwakunezinkulumo ke ezazikhona ngazo i-23 June 2020 la khona ke kune statement ke noma ke lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-section 105 phecelezi ke la umuntu avuma khona ke kulezo inkulumo lezo ke kwase kuholela ekuthini kube nalesi statement esithathwayo ke noma esibhalwa imantshi sange 24 zika June 2020.
Thank you. Now, on your own version, you're saying that there was an attorney involved. So I take it that was Mjiyako.
Yes. Mjiyako ke ummeli lo engikhuluma ngayo engithi wayekhona.
Now, on the 16th, accused number 2 get arrested by Mahane and Mapena. On the 18th, as per your version, you're meeting him at Carlton, where you had that interview with him. On the 19th, he appears before Rapadi, 19th June 2020, he appears before Rapadi for an alleged confession. On the 23rd of June, there is an attorney. There is Mr. Mjiyako. Mr. Mjiyako now appears at the scene or in the act, and there are those little arrangements that we have discussed about the possible plea bargaining arrangement and the confession. Now, would you recall that this time was at the time of COVID?
Yes, I do recall. That's correct, my lord.
Uyasho ke ukuthi ngey 16 zika June 2020 umsolwa uyaboshwa uyena ke umukhana kanye namabhena ngey 18 zika June wena uhlangana naye ke ngey 19 zika June 2020 ungaphambi kodaphathu la eyokwenza ke istatement ekhona ngey 23 zika June 2020 uyasho ukuthi kunomnweli Mjiyako kunalamalungiselelo noma kuyakhulunywa ke lapho ngabe uyakhumbula ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso kwakungesikhathi sayo ke iCovid yebo ngiyakhumbula lokho.
Thank you, madam. There's an indication from my colleague here, Mr. Ramusipili, that apparently accused number 1 wants to.
Oh, it's fine, no problem.
To talk to him. Try the number 2, madam. Not number 1.
Thank you, madam.
As it pleases the court, madam. Thank you. Now, you were agreeing, said that this was the time when the pandemic was at its peak, not so. And at that time, visitations, police stations, hospitals and everywhere were very restricted, not so.
That is correct, my lord.
Uyavuma ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi ke ukuthi ke khanjwe kuyiwe endaweni ke noma ke kuyovisitwa khona ke ama-police station imitholampilo ke ukuthi nje kwakunemithetho ke ukuthi ke kubayo lokho yebo ngiyavuma.
Maybe before I proceed, on the 23rd of June, when there was this attorney, Mr. Mjiyako, made an arrangement with the state with regard to a possible plea bargain and a subsequent confession. Were you part of the discussions?
No, my lord.
Thank you.
No. So I was part in this sense that I'm the one who went to the police station after I received a call.
Yes.
That there was an attorney.
Yes.
Who wants to consult with accused 2. And I gave that permission, my lord, regardless of the pandemic that was in place, because it's constitutional rights to say if someone wants to consult with his legal representative. I think the Constitution, as Advocate Mnisi has said, is a supreme document of this country, so you need to adhere to that. So I allowed that permission. Now, after I got there and I was introduced to this advocate, and I've indicated the sequence of events, my lord, in my evidence in chief. To say, as I walked in, accused 2 said, "This is my attorney," and then we interacted with Mr. Mjiyako. After I verified his status, that indeed, where I asked him to identify himself, verify that indeed he was an attorney.
But
then
Brigadier, that's the problem that I have with you. That my question was very simple: were you part of these discussions or not? Yes or no?
But my lord, I'm putting it in context.
Remember, you said the other time that you wanted me to respect you, not so. And I'm trying the best that I can to respect you. But respect is a two-way traffic. If I ask you a simple thing, were you part of the discussions, yes or no? And then you start to give a sermon in circumstances where a sermon has not been requested for you.
My lord,
then you come back and say, I don't respect you. Can you please adhere to the question? Were you part of the discussions or not? No.
There's a good case, my lord. Brigadier Gininda is trying to give an explanation, a comprehensive explanation. It's not
but
just.
My lord, who said wants that explanation? Because this is a simple
Mr.
question.
Mnisi,
yes or no?
Maybe I've gone too old. How can you guys speak at the same time, all of you? Yes. I mean, when I say it's like in a tavern, then I'm told I've never been in a tavern.
Yes.
You can, in a court of law, if your colleague is on the floor, you don't interrupt him. You can raise your hand to show that you want a follow-up, which you will make. Yes. But once he's still speaking and you also speak, yeah, unless you are in the South African Parliament.
Yes. The witnesses asked that Mr. Mjiyako made arrangements with the state on the 23rd of June for a possible plea bargain and confession, and he's asked, were you part of the discussions? Now he's trying to explain, my lord, as to what the circumstances were. It's not just a simply, yes and no answer. And we submit, my lord, that this witness is entitled to expand on his answer.
Yes, Mr. Mnisi.
I'm shell-shocked, my lords. Really shell-shocked. Because I would expect that Mr. Kininda, with the experience that he has, is a court eagle. He has been to court on a number of occasions. He can bear testimony to that. He knows that I know that. The manner in which he's supposed to respond to questions, my lord. When I ask him, were you part of the discussions, yes or no? Answer is simple, yes, I was part of them. No, I wasn't part of them. If the answer is yes, then I would ask him to explain what transpired there, or how did you get to be part of that meeting? But what is happening here is really shocking, my lord. I really must say it is shocking. But nonetheless, you can explain, Mr. Kenny.
So, my lord, let me start on this aspect. I do appreciate when Mr. Mnisi said he's doing his best to respect me, because that's what I've been giving him, and I appreciate that we'll respect each other. So that, and I will ask that we maintain that standard. You'll get definitely the same treatment from me in terms of respect. Now, giving an explanation, my lord, it's not a sign of disrespect, because at nowhere do I cast aspersions to him as an advocate or his client. I'm responding and giving explanation based on how I understood the question to be putting. There are instances, my lord, which Advocate Mnisi has put to me, questions where I've answered yes or no. Simple, I've answered them, the record can speak for itself. But when he asks me a question which I see, if I say no, it will give a wrong impression. Even if I say yes, I need to qualify it, my lord. Because, for example, the question that is being put to me, yes, I was not part of the discussion when Advocate Mjiyako was dealing now with the advocate. But there were times when I was involved, and that's the context I wanted to put to him, to say I was involved up to here. When the time came where he wanted to know who are the advocates involved, and I communicated those details to him, then there was a discussion now between him with the advocates. I was not involved, but one needs to put it into proper context, my lord. Because if I say no, and then later evidence comes up to say, but no, you were present when this part was said, it looks like I'm misleading the court. And if I say yes, as Advocate Mnisi is saying, then you will say, what was discussed? I do not know what he said when he spoke to the advocate. That is why I wanted to put the proper context, my lord. Nothing more. But if the question, my lord, simply requires yes or no, I will not be funny or difficult with Advocate Mnisi. I will answer it as such. But if I see that, if I say yes or no, it may give a wrong impression if you don't put a context. I'll just plead with him to be patient with me, my lord, because I'll only give an explanation when I feel it's necessary, nothing more.
Uma ngabe ngichaza ke akusona ke noma lokho akutshengisike ukuthi ke angihloniphike kuyena ke uAdvocate Mnisi, kodwa ke uma ngichaza usube nje ngifisa ukuthi ke thumelike umlayezo ekungasiwona, ngoba ke uma sesiqhubeka ke kuzotsha kodwa ke cha uthe wawungekho noma ungasiyona ke ingxenye noma wawungekho ke lapho uMjiyako wayekhona ke, ngoba ke ngangikhona ukuthi noma efuna ukwazi ukuthi obani abameli noma ke ama advocates ngamtshela ukuthi awubobani, kodwa uma esikhulumisana nabo ke ngangingekho lapho. Mina ke kwakuqinisekisa emuva nje ukuthi ngitsheliwe ukuthi kunomeli ofuna ukuthi akhulumeke naye umsoli wakhe, noma ke kwakuyileso sikhathi leso sayo ke iCovid, kodwa kodwa-ke nanjengoba ebeshilo-ke advocate ukuthi-ke sila noma sihola uwona-ke umthethosisekelo ngavuma-ke ukuthi-ke ummeli lowo akakhulume naye, yilokho ebengifisa ukuthi ngikusho noma ngikuchaze.
Thank you. Now, Brigadier, I'm not even so sure whether you'll be able to answer this question. What do you know? How did Mr. Mjiyako know about accused number 2's incarceration for him to have gone to him on the 23rd of June 2020 to go and request to talk to him?
No, I don't know, my lord. I wouldn't know. And I didn't inquire about it, my lord.
Ukuthi wazi kanjani-ke uMr Mjiyako mayelana nokuboshwa kwakhe umsola wesibili ukuthi ayohlangana naye-ke angazi-ke futhi angaze ngikubuze-ke lokho.
Thank you. Just a second, my lord. You have admitted that I'm sorry, madam. Before I proceed to the question, probably
Yeah, fine.
there's a bomb that is coming.
What's your time?
12:40.
12.
As it pleases the court, my lord.
Yeah.
I realize, my lord, that it is getting a little bit hotter in the kitchen. For me, for Mr. Ramusipili, and for Mr. Ntanzi. And we don't want to look like we're running around, my lord. But the topic is getting very interesting indeed. May I therefore request, my lord, that owing to the fact that we only left with 20 minutes to go, we then take an adjournment. There is adjournment as per the arrangement. Then we do what we need to do. We do what we need
Continue
to
until 1 o'clock, please. Okay.
Thank you, my lord.
Yeah, because there are critics here saying every time you want to cough, there is an adjournment. The adjourn, please. So let's go until 1.